What's up, you guys? Tom is back with another Linscents video. Today I have 5 of my favorite church fragrances for the year of 2024. But before we get into that, just want to say thank you guys again. It is an honor to be playing on one of those electronic devices, whether it's a cell phone, the tablet, the laptop, the Macintosh, that brand new big screen TV, whether you watch me at home, at work, on a plane, a train, or an automobile. However, wherever you're watching me, it is an honor. If you guys are new to this channel, you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, comment, and like. Likes are very, very important. But before I get into these fragrances, I'm going to show you guys a couple stores right there. You may be able to pick up at least 1 or 2 of these at one of those stores and use those discount codes. Save yourself a little bit of money. Now, these are the fragrances that I wore the most to church. Today being Sunday, today being the last Sunday of 2024, the last Sunday before the new year that is coming upon us pretty quickly. These are the 5 that I wore the most to church, whether church was on a Sunday, maybe it was on a Wednesday. We do have Wednesday service, Sunday service, and then occasionally we have a Saturday service, which sometimes it'll be like their annual musical or play like that. So when it comes to a fragrance that I would deem appropriate for church, you want something that smells good. You don't want something that's like way too strong. You don't want something too clubby or anything like that, or too sweet. Again, you got to realize there's a lot of people surrounding you. So sometimes you want something that could, if it is loud, you don't want to be too offensive. Like, so you don't want something really tobacco-y, leathery, oody, real loud, okay? And if you do have something that's kind of like that spicy, if it's more on the mellow side of things, which I do have one of those fragrances, then it's kind of appropriate for church. So these are the 5 that I have in front of me. Again, these are the ones that I wore the most to church during 2024, and this is the one that I actually wore today, so it is not on the list, but I wore it today, and man, was it a beautiful fragrance. And man, this fragrance is one of my favorite fall-time fragrances. It's just one of my favorite. If you want to smell like a man, you wear this one. And that is this Issey Miyake Ladise Intense. This thing is kind of mysterious. It's kind of outdoorsy. It's woody. It's just got this outdoorsy, sitting around a fire kind of vibe. And because I was wearing this flannel, I kind of felt like a church going, this sweater, this flannel kind of made me feel like I was going outdoors because I was wearing this. So it made me rock this today, this L'Odice Por Roma from Missy Elliot, looking at us. Issey Miyake, okay? Issey Miyake, L'Odice. And again, just a very, very good fragrance. Long lasting. It can kind of get beast mode, but even though it's woody and kind of got that outdoorsy, kind of that fresh green woody scent, it's not too loud, okay? So, you know, sometimes people don't like those woody, those type of fragrances. So when you wear something too loud, that type of fragrance could be a little offensive. And this one is just right up your alley. So that is that L'Odice. That's what I wore today. Now, these are the 5 that I wore the most of in 2024. Starting off with one that doesn't get much talk at all. And again, because it is probably a Middle Eastern and it is a clone of a fragrance from Aage, I believe. And this is from the fragrance world, Aage Brackish. Now, I think this is the clone of Bracken, if you will. This is your clovey, your spicy, your warm, your woody. And because of the cloves, you think of cloves, you think of Catholic Church. You think of just that churchy vibe with that incense cloves. Just something about this fragrance that makes me feel comfortable as well. If you've ever worn this or wore the real deal, you know what I'm talking about. Clovey, spicy, kind of cinnamony. But man, this thing will take you right to church. You put this on and you're good to go. Okay, so that is that Aage from Fragrance World, Brackish. Next up, we'll go from one that is not known much. It is a company that I've talked about a lot. You get this at the Aage store out there in California, or you can go right directly to the website, Ether Perfumes. And this is part of their collection as far as the fragrances that they're cloning. So think of your alt fragrances, your Duas, your Alexandrias, all those different fragrances. Okay, you get this little small little bottle. You're paying like $40, $50 sometimes. This, they give you 100 ml for about $45 to $50, and you're getting high quality stuff. This is Ether Perfumes, and this is their Conceded. Conceded, okay? This is their take on YSL myself. And man, this is a lovely, playful, floral, sweet, kind of citrusy fragrance that is just so good. And this thing has gotten better ever since I got this, okay? Got this probably about 6 months ago. The first time I sprayed it, I was like, it doesn't seem as strong, but yes, it's definitely gotten stronger. Again, this is Ether Perfumes, Conceded. Again, YSL myself. Go check out that website. Again, we got discount codes that was up there prior to the start of this video. And man, this stuff just smells so good, okay? That is Ether Perfumes, Conceded. Next up, let's go to one that can be... either people like this fragrance or don't like it. It seems like there's no middle ground with this fragrance. And me personally, the first time I smelled this fragrance, I was in love with it. It's that sweet, kind of peppery, rosy darkness about this fragrance. And it's actually long lasting. It's quite noticeable. And one thing I like about it is that it is kind of, in my opinion, especially on me, I do get beast mode projection with this one. But in my opinion, it's not offensive. Maybe some people might not like it, but for the majority of the people that smell this, they actually enjoy it a lot. And it was actually a fragrance. The reason why I started wearing this again at church on a Sunday is because when I was giving someone a ride on an Uber, they actually wore this fragrance. And I was like, man, what is that? Because it smells like something I have, but you know, when you smell it on someone else, it just smells different. And that is this bad boy right here, Machino's Toy Boy. Although very playful and youthful, especially for a rosy fragrance, there's just something about this that is just, it's sexy. It smells exotic to me. And it's just so good. It's long lasting. Again, it's beast mode in my, anytime I wear it, it seems beast mode to me. It seems kind of loud, but again, it's loud, but it's not obnoxiously loud, okay? It's loud enough where you're sitting in a pew of church and you're sitting probably around like, 6 people, and most of them probably will smell you. And I think, honestly, most people will enjoy this. Again, but it's one of those fragrances that either people don't like or they like a lot. Doesn't seem like there's an in-between with this fragrance, but me, I really, really like this fragrance. Again, that is Machino Toy Boy. Again, these are the fragrances that I wore the most in church this year, okay? Just the 5, okay? Could have went 10, but that would have been way too long, okay? Next up, one more from Fragrance World. And again, this, when you have so many fragrances, it really is hard to try to, again, you want to wear fragrances for certain situations, but sometimes it could just be so hard when you got so many fragrances. Again, this is one of those type of, if you're a collector, just hobby, at least it is something that you want to use. It's not like you just, it's different when you just got a hobby of collecting stamps, baseball cards. You can't use those. You can just show them off. But this, even if it's just a hobby, you want to use it because it's something that uplifts you. It makes you feel good. It's a great people-pleasing thing. But this one, again, is from Fragrance World. And again, could have went with so many different fragrances, but this is the one I wore a lot on church because it's fresh, it's light, it's crisp, it's got a warm spice as well to it. That is Fragrance World Pepper So Spicy. You look at that thing and you think warm, spicy, but it is kind of got a warm spice to it. I think it's got that pink pepper in there that kind of gives it that warm, spicy, kind of almost even fruity smell. But man, this is a good fragrance. It's warm, spicy, but then also has like this soapy aquaticness to it, in my opinion. And this thing is just so good. Pepper So Spicy. It's not super duper loud. It's not the best projecting fragrance, but when you smell it on yourself, you're going to notice it and you are going to enjoy it for the majority of the time in church, okay? Church is usually about an hour or 2. So again, you'll get more than 2 hours with this fragrance, but if you get the highest potency within that hour, you're good to go for church, okay? Last but not least is a fragrance that most people consider one of the best date night fragrances. But in my opinion, yes, it is a beautiful date night fragrance, but also, again, in my opinion, this makes for a beautiful church fragrance as well, because again, It smells so good. It smells so comforting. It just puts you in a mood. And if you're at church, you're in a mood to pray. You're in a mood to be happy, uplifted. And what fragrance can do that any better than this bad boy right here? Dolce & Gabbana, the one. Again, not super duper loud. I wish it was, but man, there are some fragrances that I do believe are meant to be just enjoyed by the person wearing it, and maybe one or two people that are getting close enough to you. And this is one of those fragrances. Again, beautiful date night fragrance, but again, I've worn this plenty of times to church this year. And as you can see, look, see, I've worn it definitely a lot to church because I got other date night fragrances. So wore this a lot to church. Dolce & Gabbana, the one. Again, very subtle. It's not too loud, but for the people that do smell it, they are going to give you compliments. So if you got a pretty big church or you're sitting around a lot of people, you are going to be noticed. Okay. So those are the 5 church fragrances that I wore the most in 2024 going into 2025. Hopefully you guys have had a great 2024. Maybe on Tuesday we'll do my favorites of all of 2024 in general. So with that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Peace out.